So I am proud to endorse Donald Trump for president of the United States. I look forward to supporting him enthusiastically.
What happened between Trump and Cruz back in 2016 went way beyond politics. And by the way, it's still going on. Just this month, the New York Times reported that Trump said Cruz, quote, shouldn't even exist. I could have destroyed him. I kind of did destroy him in 2016, if you think about it, but then I let him live. When Cruz won the Iowa caucus in 2016, Trump accused him of stealing it. Quote, based on the fraud committed by Senator Ted Cruz during the Iowa caucus, either a new election should take place or Cruz's results nullified. Okay, even though that wasn't true, that's still business, right? It was the personal attacks on Cruz's family that I just can't understand how he can forgive, like on his father.
His father was with Lee Harvey Oswald prior to Oswald's being, shot. I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. What was he doing with Lee Harvey Oswald shortly before the death, before the shooting?
At the time, Cruz responded exactly as you might expect when someone accuses your dad of being in the assassination of JFK.
Let's be clear. This is nuts. This is not a reasonable position. This is just kooky. And while I'm at it, I guess I should go ahead and admit, yes, my dad killed JFK. He is secretly Elvis, and Jimmy Hoffa is buried in his backyard.
And then after the jokes, Cruz went further in attacking Trump.
This man is a pathological liar. He doesn't know the difference between truth and lies. He lies practically every word that comes out of his mouth. The man cannot tell the truth, but he combines it with being a narcissist. A narcissist at a level I don't think this country's ever seen.
Well, then Trump started calling him Lying Ted. But look, maybe you can forgive a nutty attack on your dad, right, when it's so outlandish. But how about when someone suggests your wife is ugly? Yes, he went after Cruz's wife, Heidi, putting an unflattering photo of her next to a picture of Melania with the insulting message that the images are worth 1,000 words. Again, Cruz at the time sounded like a man ready to defend his family and his honor.
It's not easy to tick me off. I don't get angry often. But you mess with my wife, you mess with my kids, that'll do it every time. Donald, you're a sniveling coward, and leave Heidi the hell alone.
So how do you as a man forgive that, right? Cruz said he would forgive Trump for the good of the country. Okay, fair enough. But endorsing him enthusiastically, there's an almost, Marty McFly aspect to all of this. Remember in the movie Back to the Future, he goes back, and his dad, George, is getting insulted and pushed around by bad guy Biff. Marty tries to convince his dad to show some courage.
You open the door and you say, "You're lying, George." "Oh, hey, you, get your damn hands off her." "You really think I ought to swear?" "Yes, definitely. God damn it, George, swear."
All right, but this is the amazing part, is Ted Cruz talked about that same movie and Donald Trump.
If anyone has seen the movie Back to the Future 2, the screenwriter says that he based the character Biff Tannen on Donald Trump. A caricature of a braggadocious, arrogant buffoon.
And yet, he's George McFly. Look, I have always believed we all need to live by some level of, personal code. I get that Ted Cruz will vote for Donald Trump. If he's the Republican candidate, I'd expect him to support him. But how do you live with yourself when you're a powerful person and you have to suck up in that way to someone who's accused you of being a liar and a cheat, your dad of being a killer, and your wife of being unattractive? Is that just politics? Joining me now, John Ziegler, conservative commentator and host of the Death of Journalism podcast. All right, so John, what do you make of this, and what happened to Ted Cruz's honor?
Well, first of all, this entire segment feels like Back to the Future because I feel like we're forgetting that the last 8 years have happened and that we now know, which we did not know in 2016, that most of the Republican Party is a cult and that Donald Trump is the cult leader. If it was a corporation, he would be the majority shareholder. As I told you 9 months ago on this show, he's going to be the Republican nominee, unfortunately, as I'm an anti-Trump conservative all along in this entire 8-year debacle. And so we now have a situation where Ted Cruz can't have honor. He can't live by principle. He can't defend his family because he must pledge loyalty to the cult king. He's up for re-election this year. And by the way, eventually Donald Trump is going to leave the stage here. I think it's going to be longer than most people think. I think even if he loses in the general election, he'll probably be running again in 2028. But Ted Cruz has to be at least eyeing the possibility that he could be the successor to MAGA Inc. and the MAGA political machine. And you can't do that unless you're seen as being on Donald Trump's team.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.